Guys, I have a friend of mine who would say that definitely did not suck. In other words, this was no average meal. Score 1 for iDrive, score 1 for Can, and yes, score 1 for La Carlota. Let me tell you how this meal started off. First of all, we had an appetizer plate consisting of some olives, a couple of baked cheese pastries, a salmon mousse, and a tapenade, and of course you had some French bread that was thinly sliced and toasted served with it all. The salmon mousse was the best part. It was sweet, it was creamy, you just spread it on that French bread and it would melt in your mouth. Tapenade, a little bit on the salty side, kind of average, but still okay. The olives, very good, and those cheese pastries, not bad either. Second course. Started off with some foie gras. It's a French restaurant after all. So, with foie gras, and I gotta admit, I didn't even really know what I was ordering when I ordered that stuff. It said scallops with foie gras, and I figured that meant sea scallops, us being in Cannes. I figured there'd be some seafood here, but actually that referred to the way that the foie gras was sliced and fried and then served on a plate. A little bit of balsamic vinegar, some cranberries, again a little bit of French bread. I was soaking I ate it all and just soaking the juices up with the French bread and just popping it in my mouth. I know that geese or ducks are treated very cruelly to create that foie gras, but these ducks, they died for a good cause. I can very much assure you of that. And then the final course, as my sister recommended, gotta have a steak while I'm in France, so I did, and it was a 6-ounce filet, which was perfectly seasoned, which is to say not too much. Had some potatoes on the side, which I'm not normally a potato guy. Normally I'll leave those, but they were perfect too. They weren't over whipped. Like you sometimes get where they get kind of gluey and starchy. No, they were just perfect and creamy, baked crust on top underneath the broiler. And finally, there was this little side of cream with a little mushroom. I think it was a chanterelle mushroom, woody and smoky and just perfect. Main course was really good. If I had to pick some nits here, I would say that the actual quality of the meat wasn't 100%, but it was cooked perfectly medium rare rather, just like I like, and again, seasoned perfectly. Finished the entire meal off with some creme brulee. Yeah, it's kind of a cliche, but I always order it. I make it at home and I'm very critical of it, so I can, you know, even though it's a very basic, simple thing, I also knew that after that appetizer, first course, and entree, there was no way they were going to screw up the creme brulee, so I figured I was going to be safe with that. Had a little bit of Grand Marnier in it for a little bit of a twist, but otherwise just perfect, classic creme brulee. And finally, I got my coffee, ladies and gentlemen. Just a little shot. I think it was actually espresso, but it was strong and full flavored. And again, just the perfect cap to a perfect meal. €50, including tip. That included 2 glasses of wine. And I know iDrive said that this was good value, but to be fair, I did pick the most expensive prefix. They had a €23 prefix, a €27 prefix, and a €36 prefix. I picked the 36 because I wanted those scallops and foie gras and the steak, and not a single regret. And now we are off to Cherbourg. It is just before 3 o'clock, and it says that we're going to land in Cherbourg at about 5. That should give us enough time to book the ferry, get in some shopping, perhaps another meal if we can muster the energy.